Good evening, Gooners. This is the afterthought and going over the second defeat in 5 days against Brighton Hove Albion. Stay tuned after this, a little intro. Well, Gooners, gosh, it's a testing period. Second defeat inside 5 days, and I'm looking at this. I've just enjoyed my birthday weekend, and you're wanting that little buzz. You want that kind of feel good factor, and it's just it's just fallen flat. Palace on Monday or last Monday, and then on Saturday at the Emirates, and just when you want things to start going right and going smooth and being smooth, there's a massive rut in that road, and yeah, we knew it was coming. I can't imagine any Arsenal fan would expect that it wasn't coming. We were told that there was going to be times that it was going to happen, and yeah, we have to expect that. And we look at the youngsters. We look at all we've got in the minute and what we're left with. We've we are where we are, and it's not the fact that we have done so badly, because we haven't, and we've achieved what we've done through the performances that we've put in, and that's a positive in its own right. Let's get that straight. Uh, what happens now is unknown. We don't know about this group. We know we've got an exciting load of youngsters and younger players. So we've got the youngest squad. How they react to adversity, challenges, how they deal with being stressed in the way that they haven't really been stressed this season. It's all ifs and buts. We don't know how they're going to react. And we do look at these last two games, and yeah, we know that we've had a couple of changes which have affected our starting lineup. But you have to perform, and you have to show up. You have to show the desire. And sadly, we've fallen very short against Crystal Palace. We knew that it was going to be a tough game, but we need to step up on away games. Every away game, you've got to step up and you've got to come to the table. You've got to bring something. We didn't do that until the second half, and by then we're too late. And similar again on Saturday. But as I say, we'll go into that shortly. But yeah, we turn up just before the kickoff, and then you suddenly get the team lineup, and we were all questioning before the game, and we were wondering whether or not, or what Mikel Arteta was going to do, and the cynics were kind of, well, do we just change the shape? Do we go to a back three? Yeah, there obviously is potential to do it, but it does mean that there's going to be a few changes moving around. So be it, say, like a Saka comes in and plays as a wing back. Does Suarez go on to the other side? What about Ben White potentially in a four? There were all these different kind of ideas, and as fans, we can voice these because we all see it, and we all can kind of speculate as to what could be best. But yeah, we kind of tweaked around with the fact that we would go to a back three. But yeah, the midfield just looked very weak, just in general. When you're suddenly thinking, yeah, you could play, say, like a 3-4-3 or something like a 3-4-1-2. Someone joining Lacazette or two up top, potentially Lacazette being dropped to the bench because yeah, he hasn't shown it, and he still didn't show it. So was it a time to maybe just stick Nketiah in there and Martinelli, just a bit of pace and something a little bit different and fresh? Um, all these options to try, but the main thing was the central area of the park. And yeah, I think I was crying out for El Neni. I think, and that was a discussion where again he's probably one of our most senior players because he has got lots of experience. And you're thinking, yeah, we've lost Partey and we've lost Tierney, and we're trying to shore up the positions and shore up the way the team's going to play and making sure we're hard to beat. But what transpired, again, it was a very interesting decision, I would say. And it was a gamble, and unfortunately, gambles either successful or you fail or you lose. And I think Arteta did did end up getting it wrong, playing Xhaka at left back, but it wasn't saying that he was playing him as a proper left back. I think there were other things to the way Arsenal were playing that he was going to be used or utilised, and I think you could see that as you went through the half, and it looked unorthodox. It looked a little strange in the way the fact that you would see Xhaka kind of tucking in more as that left central defensive midfielder and further forward from the defenders actually alongside him. Um, the downside of that was obviously he did leave a fair amount of space behind, but again, I think it also comes down to the players understanding and dealing with the responsibilities when he does vacate that space. Um, Obviously, moving forward into the midfield, he acts as another body, but yeah, there needs to be some form of help, I think, from the players in front as well, and that comes from, say, like a Smith Rowe or a Martinelli coming back and filling in that void. And funny enough, it so happened with the goal that they scored, and I've got no problem. Let me just. I've got a little slide. Not this one, nor that one, or that one. Yeah. So it's this one, but yeah, you picture Xhaka going and putting pressure on the player just over the halfway line, which, to be honest, as a left back, as a right back, that's what you will do. That you're going to try and put pressure on the ball, certainly if no one's around. Uh, the trouble is, what they've done is they've played it back, and they've played it back to Dunk, who has just literally launched the ball over and into the channel. And we haven't. There's obviously a lot of space there, but we haven't actually realised, and the midfield themselves has not really worked it out because, yeah, behind Xhaka you've got Lokonga, you've got Smith Rowe, and you've got Odegaard by the referee. And as soon as that ball's turned over and we're running backwards, and you're suddenly seeing a 4-on-4 into the box, but then funny as it goes on, the furthest or almost the nearest person to come back in on that play was actually Xhaka again, and you're suddenly thinking, well, he's so high up the pitch, but how's he then managed to get back almost in a position where he can try and get back and defend, where there were midfielders that were behind him, and as that ball was cut across, it was a telling moment, and whether or not Smith Rowe or Odegaard would have got anywhere near Trossard if they would have sprinted as he was coming into the box to get back. Who knows? But it was almost like Smith Rowe, as soon as the ball had come to Trossard, he just started just gradually walking, and it was like I think his hands was on his hips, and it was like, okay, we're just going to let him have a shot. But yeah, with the absence of the left back, you've got Gabriel going to the ball. Lokonga's made his recovery run to kind of close down any ball into the edge of the 6-yard box because, yeah, he might think it's going there. I don't think it's going to go there because the way Gabriel was and his position, it's only going to be cut back. But he's obviously still following that ball. He doesn't read the cutback. Ben White and Suarez are still running back towards goal. And yeah, the ball comes back out and bang. And that it was a good finish, but we got caught, and that's part of the issue. And yeah, you can say about offside as well. Again, I think there was too much in there. I think if you're going to give offside for that, you've got to do away with the whole kind of this change rule. If you're offside, you're offside, and that's it. But yeah, you're inactive, you're active. It's a different phase of play. Yeah, we should have dealt with it better. But the midfielders were caught cold as soon as Duncan had that ball. All of our midfielders were moving forward. They ran forward, and it wasn't until they realised the ball had gone over the head, they hadn't read it. We were under pressure, and yeah, that was the sad moment on it. And we get through that half, and we can see the frustration going on and on through the stadium because Arsenal just hadn't turned up. The quality of the chances that we created, and I'd say there were hardly any. There was maybe say 2 or 3, maybe one really early on, and then you had the Gabriel header just past the post from the cross from the free kick, and then in injury time, Martinelli's goal that was disallowed for offside. And I'm all for VAR and getting the right decision, but I do question VAR and the whole usage of VAR. And yeah, it should be brought in for clear and obvious errors and making sure that right decision is made. And I look at a goal being scored from a wrongly given corner when it should be a goal kick. Again, does that corner get taken if that correct decision has been made? If they go and score from that corner and it goes to VAR and they say, oh no, it shouldn't have been a corner, then there's no issue. But when we go back through it after the game and we say, well, yeah, it was a corner, but it should never have been a corner. So it should never have happened. So you look at these little things and offside, and it's, yeah, is someone's toe bigger than the other one? Is someone's shoulder ahead of someone's foot? Or what about his knee? And we were looking at that, and there were so many different kind of things that they were looking at, and they were trying to look at a foul on the keeper. There were no Arsenal players around him. Who it come off from the header, and then the actual offside. And if you're looking across and you can see both sides of the goal, and I'm talking you're drawing that line and you're looking across the line on both sides of the area, so you've got a clear 360 view, and you're 100% positive that the player is offside, then you can give it. If you're still umming and ahhing after how many freeze frames, how many slow-mo replays, how many different angles, and you're hitting near 5 minutes, then that tells me that it isn't clear and obvious. I mean, if I have an accident in my pants, gross, I know. If I have I know straight away that is a clear and obvious error. Yeah, I know straight away that's done. I don't wait 5 minutes to suddenly say, "Oh, yeah, I've made a mistake," and little things like that. It really annoys me, and it kills it for the fans as well. And that's not just Arsenal. There's a whole host of clubs that have had similar issues, and it is killing the game because it is brought in to help officials and make sure that those decisions are correct. And when we start micromanaging, the same with the penalty situations, let's stop slowing them all down and freeze framing and really kind of slowing it all down so they look worse than they are, and grow some testicles and actually start focusing on making decisions and allowing decisions to have been given on the field. If you can't make a decision, VAR, stick with the on-field decision, because what is the point? As I said, what's the point of having a linesman? In all honesty, you may as well take the linesman away, just have the referee and then the ball boys, and then anything is then decided by VAR, geometry on screen, and that's that. And you won't have to worry about linesmen putting up flags, this and that, and they're doing whatever. So it is pointless. It's just silly. So yeah, that was my rant going into half time, and I just, yeah, it was one of those where you knew that Arsenal had to come out and Arteta had to try and somehow change the way the team were playing. Because yeah, they weren't dangerous enough, they weren't quick enough, and Brighton they were solid. And you think in those three in midfield, they were zipping into tackles from early. Smith Rowe got clobbered a couple of times. Saka got clobbered. Odegaard again, but they were nipping in with challenges, and yeah, Basuma was brilliant, and even the goal scorer, really good, like battling performance. And it goes to show that you have to fight and you have to be there and actually really want to actually make the difference. And if you don't make the difference and you don't turn up, then you're not going to get the result. You can't just turn up and think that just because we're at home we're going to get the win. You have to step up and you have to get that kind of the actual tempo running, and give someone in the crowd proper feeling that you're going to do something. And in that first half, it wasn't enough. But he made changes in the second half. In the lineup wise, no substitutions, but yeah, it looked like he was playing with a two in the middle, with, I would say, Xhaka playing more of an advanced role, but maybe just kind of you can potentially drop in to help out the two. but he was certainly playing a lot more further forward. And then I think on the times where the play would be played on the left, you'd had Cedric kind of pop in alongside the two centre backs, and it just enabled a bit more time on the ball for Xhaka, and it was better. We were getting more forward running, and yeah, Lokonga got on the ball. We had a couple of dribbles, and yeah, a really poor free kick from Cedric. Yeah, I think Lacazette looked pretty disgusted with him, hitting his own teammates in the wall. So obviously that wasn't planned or communicated. But that's player decisions. That's again, if I'm Lacazette, I'm saying I'm taking that. I don't care. I'm having it. And he's been fairly decent with free kicks. It's not like he's had real disappointing free kicks. He does normally make the keeper work, or certainly a good shot. But yeah, it was straight in, and it went out for a goal kick or something like that. It was like, yeah, just really poor. But yeah, we didn't do enough. We really didn't do enough across the whole game, and it showed. And then a lovely bit of football, I think, for them again. Really undone us, and the following the runs, because it was a nice interplay, but yeah, you have to follow the runs, and you got to be switched on. But yeah, it was a nice move. But for a team to have had 3 shots on target and score 2 goals, um, and we had around 65% possession in the game, 20 shots on goal with 4 on target, and yeah, does show we are massively struggling with chance creation and conversion. I think we are getting in the areas where we need to get to. It's just sadly we're not firing half as much as what we should be. And yeah, the sooner we get people in the door in the summer to improve the squad, to improve the striking department, then we are going to struggle, I think. And yeah, I go into this game against Southampton knowing that something's going to have to change, and I'm hoping there's going to be some real movement in our belief and our just a whole positivity, because yeah, we've been struggling for these last 2 days, and it's these last 2 games, and if it goes on again, then we're in deep trouble. I think for going into the next 2 games, Man United and Chelsea, and you look at it like that, and it's yeah, we could be kind of very very precarious after those 2 games, but I'm sure we can get there, and that's the main thing. I think I just need a reset again, and get going, because yeah, they've lost a lot of confidence. I think just from that Palace game, and you thought they were going to get a reaction, but they didn't. But yeah, my biggest disappointment in that was Tavares, and I thought he would have played Tavares into form, because he had to play him, and if he can't get his confidence and his form by playing at home in his position, then he's never going to get it. So I do kind of feel for it. I do feel for him after that. So um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Arteta does come Saturday. My guess that he isn't going to make the same decision twice. I don't think Xhaka's going to come in and play left back again. Um, I think we will find that he'll either look to that free, or he'll be utilising someone else, and he'll be maybe say Ben White at right back and Suarez at left back, and then maybe Holding comes in. I don't know. Um, we are all surmising on what he could do and what not, but only he knows. There's obviously reasons why he's done it, and he won't obviously talk about it because that's down to him. And yeah, he he lives and dies by his decisions, and I think there's been a very crazy negative slant on it all again, and it's gone from yeah we've messed it up. It's failure because if we don't get top four, but again, top four was never it was never in on the lips of majority of our fans, and it's only through what they've done this season that it has been possible. And there's still games to go, and there's some big games to go, and you're suddenly thinking, yeah, we're there, but we're nowhere potentially near clinching it because you've still got to win those games. Yeah, we've done all right up to now, or up to the last two games, but there's still a lot of football to be played. And yeah, he's got to be safe. He's lost two games. He's got to be sacked. It's like, well, and what then? You do question some fans, and you some just think just get behind the team. It isn't great. No, it's not. It's frustrating because we don't want to see Tottenham or anyone go ahead of us. But it shows how far away we are from where we need to get to. Arteta was talking before the game. He wants 22 players in the squad, and yeah, after everyone is sold, then we'll probably only have 15 or 17 players in that squad. And you're thinking he will need 7 to 10 new signings in the summer. It doesn't have to be a rocket science. A scientist, you look at it, and I say I'd put this list together, and I'd said so. We've got another goalkeeper coming in, Turner, so he will be the number two. You then have Ramsdale, Tierney, White, Gabriel, Holding. You have Cedric, Tomiyasu, Tavares. You got Partey, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Lokonga, Xhaka, and Martinelli. And then you've got Leno being sold, which again I think that's 100% done. He's too good to be a number two, so he's definitely gonna be going. It's a World Cup year; he has to be playing. El Neni, again, I think is a high certainty he's probably going to go. They're going to let his contract go, and he'll go off on a free. Lacazette again, if he's playing to win himself a new contract, then he hasn't done it. And as much as Arteta does say he has other qualities that he's bringing to the team, it's not what Arsenal need. And whether or not he does sign, if he next year, or in Arteta's mind, is not going to be playing as a lone striker, so he has going to have, say, someone around him, and he does that work that he's been doing, then you could potentially say, well, all right, maybe that might be interesting. But at the minute, where he's only playing on his own, he just looks just ineffectual. Just nothing really is showing from him. Nketiah, pretty certain he's gone as well. Pepe looks gone as well. Then you got Bellerin, Mari. They've gone near enough. Maitland-Niles. We know Guendouzi and Torreira as well have all gone. Their job done. So there is a massive rebuild in the summer. But I'm not going to go on anymore. I've said my bit. There is huge work to be done in the summer, and I'm not going to beat myself up over this last part of the season, because we know we are low in numbers, but we've had to have a clear out to start with because we've still got a lot of players there that will need to be sold. And if we were still messing around with the players that were still in the squad, still at the club, that we have let release or let go, then I'd be very, very worried about what we could actually get through the door in the case of signings. And yeah, it's helped us out massively because at least we can actually understand what we've got to work with, and we've got budgets. We now know what kind of wages we can offer, and yeah, it was all kind of the last couple of years has been we can't get anyone in because yeah, it all depends on who goes. Now we've got rid of the players and we're waiting to then bring players in the summer when we can properly go. Then now we're in a better position there. Yeah, we are struggling because of numbers and a couple of injuries. But yeah, it isn't all Arteta's fault. Yeah, it's a little bit of bad luck as well. But yeah, he's going to make bad decisions. He's going to make good decisions. But you don't jump on someone for making a bad decision or a mistake or an error in judgment. You just don't turn your back on someone, and you have to give him the time. 2.5 years, someone was saying, and we've not done anything. So we have improved. Give him 4 years or 4.5 years what Jurgen Klopp had, and let's see the Kroenkes properly back a manager. Any player, any amount, get that player in. And then we'll show how well they're actually up for the fight. Do they want to get Arsenal back to where they need to be? Because for that period up until the 2018 that they said that they couldn't do anything because they didn't own the club properly. Yeah, 12 years of nothing. 12 years of just letting our resources drain. Yeah, just like a pot of gold with a massive hole and just losing all the coins through the bottom, and that's what's happened with our squad over those 12 years. Gradually declined, not improving them in the right areas and having the resource to spend money. That's where I'm disappointed with. That's where I now see all the real negative feelings on fans was where they still can't focus and understand that Arsenal aren't where they were in 2003, 2004, top of the league, invincible, knocking up with the best. Because that next 3 years where we go to the new stadium, we were not competitive in our actual playing squad, and that's criminal in its own right. And any fan that wants to come on and argue that point, I'd love to hear from you, and I'll have you. I'd love to do a show with a couple of new Gooners who have their points of view, because I like to hear it. Because again, I've got all the information I need from the Kroenkes and when they took over, and I know full well that is a load of tosh that they've come out with and said, oh yeah, we couldn't put no money in until 2018 when we owned the club. Absolute garbage, and they've sat over it, and they've just let the team fester, and then we lose players, hemorrhaging talent, hemorrhaging our players, and leaving our players, letting them go for peanuts. And it isn't just, say, a Wenger thing. It isn't just, say, anyone. It was all about the board side and someone actually with a footballing brain. We didn't have that, and that just is criminal. Just in that right. And now they can throw the righteous kind of thing around, saying, "Oh, yeah, we're doing everything we can." We got Josh being all his lip service kind of brigade, and yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it. They need to do a lot more than what they're doing, because they've got 12, 13 years to make up for. And until they do that, Yeah, we're where we are, and yeah, that's why we're not at the top table. And yeah, I had someone say we should be challenging. We should be challenging and competing with Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City. I chuck Man United in there and Tottenham. Would say yeah, the latter two. Yeah, we are. But look at Man United still. We are totally beyond the scale of what they've got. They're paying 10 players more than double what our top player is. And then Chelsea, and they've lived and survived off years of overspending and blowing people out of the water. Remember the years after, a couple of years after the Invincibles. Unbelievable. I'll suddenly think that we could just suddenly just flick a switch and we'll still be in the same moment, the same level with that lack of investment and yeah, just belief. You had a Russian come in for Chelsea who wanted to spend money and turn Chelsea into a top team. He succeeded. He pumped in a lot of money. He got a lot of players in. We went to a new stadium to compete with the best. We weren't given the money. Yeah, that was the problem. We paid for our stadium, but our owners, and I don't care what amount of owners you've got a guy that's wanted to actually have the club, and even before obviously we've known all the recent stuff with Usmanov. Usmanov wanted to put lots of money into us at that time, and it could have easily done. It could have been allowed on the at least on the board, and if he was going to just give a small investment into the club, that's yeah. Well, that's it. We it could have been there, but it wasn't. And 12, 13 years on, you then had City come in again with owners pumping in money, buying massive players after player, and that's where we cannot do it. So that's it. So we're in a totally different environment to them guys. So how can we compete? But end of up the Arsenal. Let's get behind them for Southampton. Come on, you Gunners.